Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, got a quick short video for you guys. RGTI stock, RGTI, quantum computing stocks as a whole right now are coming on down. If you guys recall, I told you that the quantum computing ETF, this is probably the most important video you'll ever watch. So the quantum computing ETF, it was in a wedge. It tried to break out of it, right? And it failed. It created a double top technically here. And it came on down. Buyers showed up today, but guess what? We're being pushed down yet again. So buyers showed up and we're being pushed down anyways. That's the quantum computing ETF, which we know RGTI and IonQ and a bunch of others are in it. So if the ETF itself that tracks these stocks is struggling, we know that, well, when this broke down, as you can see, well, RGTI came down too. Okay, so what sucks about what's happening here is here's our support, right? Where I told you guys be very careful here. Could go under 10. I would not buy. And it came up a little bit cool, but that's just a pullback in the downtrend. It's still a downtrend, which means it's going to continue to go lower regardless. Came back down, and it pulled back again to the top of that trend line. It's a very clear pattern here, very clear channel to the downside. And then it touched here, and it got pushed down 4 days in a row. And unfortunately, these pullbacks are getting weaker. Look at this pullback here. Buyers, 2 green candles. Look at this pullback here. 1 green candle, barely, and 1 red candle. Like buyers couldn't. We didn't even get 2 green candles here. And then that was followed by 4 days of red. 3 days of red, by the way. 3 days after touching the top of that trend line. 3 days. Buyers nowhere to be found. We keep breaking down lower. And on top of that, today we touched this support here at 10. We really had to get over 10. We didn't. So not only is the downtrend about to get steeper, is what this is showing me, but buyers aren't showing up. I don't know where buyers are going to show up. I would assume they're going to show up at $6 because that's our biggest level. And that would also be the 200 WMA. Surprise, surprise, right? So color stock, just as an example, it touched the 200 and it pumped. So this is why I tell people, even if you have to wait 2 months, which is essentially what we've been doing, we've waited 2 months. If you have to wait 2 months for the stock to get nice and cheap, look at BBAI, huge pump. Now you got to wait maybe a month for it to come down nice and cheap. But it's well worth it to wait. I'm waiting for 6 at this point. I'm waiting for the purple line. And it's not a good look when the market is it tries to pump and then it sells off. And I told everyone in the morning, I'm like, well, I don't think I said this. Maybe I did. I don't remember. But in the morning, someone left a comment in the Discord, hey, it's looking good. We're green in pre-market. And I looked at that and I'm like, no. That's not a good thing. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to be green in pre-market. What matters is how we close. And I've seen this before where we're green in pre-market and it makes people, the less experienced people, think, oh, green, oh my God, this is it. It's a big bounce. And it makes it look like we're going to bounce, right? We get some upside right at open and then later off it sells off. Later on it sells off. And that's what we're seeing. So the suckers are stepping in buying and guess what? It just gets sold off and it just comes down lower. That's what we're seeing here. Nvidia, if it has bad earnings, don't be surprised if everything just gaps down. So that's why I've been telling you guys, if this is a bear market, there's nothing we can do. Things just keep going lower and lower. I just showed you that with RGTI. It just keeps going lower and lower. And this is why I said we're no longer going sideways here. We just broke down. Buyers didn't show up. Be very careful. So hopefully if you listened, you haven't bought in because you're like, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and wait for it to get to $6 and get myself a healthy 50% discount from the people that bought at 12. This is why I tell people to exercise patience and discipline, and it pays off in the long term. It takes exercising patience and discipline to buy cheap, also to not FOMO in and buy at the worst time possible, which is at the top or a recent top, and when it pumps 30%, 50%, 100%, you hold for more. You don't sell too early because you believe in it. You have that conviction. And I want you to keep in mind, before I let you guys go, why is this dropping? Has there been any negative news? Any negative PRs, headlines? Anyone? Because I haven't seen anything. The only negative news that if you could call it news was the Nvidia CEO opened his big mouth and caused that 50% drop, which is where a lot of you discovered my channel, and a lot of you told me, you saved me from buying, bro, thank you so much. But if that's the only time that this stock got a huge drop, it wasn't because of a negative PR or headline. It was just one CEO who runs a incredible company that performs well long term opening his big mouth and saying, yeah, it's still far away. But it's still the future, right? It's far away. He didn't completely dismiss it. It's not lunacy. It's not make-believe. It's not fantasy. This is real. Quantum computing is a thing. But it's far off. And those words are what caused it to drop. And that's okay. It's just giving us opportunity. But there was nothing negative other than that. CEO opened his big mouth. So this is just dropping because the market as a whole is coming down. And that's okay. We expected this, right? A lot of you discovered my channel or joined the Discord because you're like, I think it's going to be a great 4 years because Trump is in office. And so a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, Trump is in office, so we're going to get a lot of volatility. Woohoo, right? But wait a minute. If we're going to get a lot of volatility, and that's what you expect from Trump being in office, then you would also expect volatility to the downside, right? Because it seemed to me like a lot of people who are Trump supporters, because a lot of those joined my Discord, and, I was like, a lot of them were really bullish because Trump is in office, but I'm like, wait a minute. If you expect a lot of volatility, you would expect a volatility to the downside as well. And that's a good thing, right? We want it to come down nice and cheap so we can buy cheap, and then when it makes a volatile move to the upside, we take our profit. So I think some people, when they think Trump, they think lots of volatility. Well, lots of volatility also comes with a lot of downside, and a lot of upside. So you got to know how to take advantage of that, and you take advantage of it by buying cheap. Please wait for the 200 WMA. That is it for the video. I will see you guys in the next one. And when we make money off of this play, you guys are going to be like, how did you know? And I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I just know to buy at the 200, sit on the position. It goes up a lot. You take your profit. Let's rinse and repeat, even if it takes months.